please join me in welcoming Marco Perego Saldana, the writer, director, and producer of The Absence of Eden. Thank you for joining us tonight, Marco.
Thank you.
So before we came out, we were actually chatting a little bit about the origin of the film, and you were telling me about how it sort of started with a project that you were working on in your work as a fine artist. I was wondering if you could talk about that genesis story.
In 2015, I started a sculpture for this museum. It was they died 714 children go for Syria to Italy. And during that year, I collected 714 pair of shoes of children and full of concrete. And that was part of the Rennie Museum collection in Vancouver. And I'm an immigrant, and I start to reflect into using a different tools outside the art, the fine art. And I look into cinema because I'm really, really, really in love with cinema. I'm watching one movie a day. And what happened, I tried to see if there was a possibility to do portrait about humanity in a very different way. And that's why I start to write in with my partner Rick, Absence of Eden. And that's all generated by this sculpture I did in 2015 about these kids. They lost their life when they jump in the unknown to go from Syria to Italy.
From that inspiration, how did you land on a story set on the US-Mexico border?
I think everything need to be very honest. And if you think about my family, I'm an immigrant. My wife is a first-time generation Latina. We have 3 boys. 2 they look like my wife and 1 look like me. And why I say that is we spend our mission, our life is really spend a lot of time try to have conversation about humanity. Zoe and I, we spend a lot of time in the border. And after the part of this piece of immigration about between Syria to Italy, I said, okay, we need to make this conversation global. And of course, the idea was very impactful for me, the experience at the border. Rick and I, we spent over 3-4 years to research into writing this film.
Once you took the project from the script to the screen, I wanted to talk a little bit about financing, which is always tricky for independent films in the best of circumstances. Given that the subject matter is topical and for many controversial, I'm wondering what those conversations were like in terms of securing financing so that you could make the project.
Yes. First, I think the biggest quality is resilience. When I keep pushing this, but the first thing is I was very lucky to surround myself with. I always surround myself with people better than me. When I start to create a team around me, from the producer, from Robert and Carl and Julie, to all the people, and everybody really jump in. And CineStar was the company of also like my wife, and Jolene is here too, and they believe so much first in me and in the vision, and also there was this kind of producer, they really want to make a picture about can mean something. And I really believe we did this movie with open heart, and I really hope that tonight everybody be touching about this because it's about conversation. It's not a political film, it's just a pure letter to humanity.
I did want to ask about Zoe's involvement. I'm curious what the experience is like working so closely with your spouse, especially given the grueling nature of some of the experiences that her character goes through.
This is a very good question. Don't laugh about, but I started this movie through masterclass. I literally pay $50, and I look in every single masterclass from Scorsese to Jim Cameron. And when I start this, my wife was wake up in the middle of the night and say, "What you doing?" I say, "I need to be ready to work with you." Short story was challenging, and the more important things was very inspirational. She really teach me so much, and I was very open to be there like a student and really try to learning. I'm obsessed with details and cinema, and I really want to learn from her. And I think it was, for me, was like to have a master class in the real time.
Since we're on the topic of Zoe, she can't be here tonight because of the ongoing SAG-AFTRA strike. I'm wondering, in your view, especially, you know, because you also work in fine art, what do you think is the most important issue that Hollywood workers are fighting for right now?
I think they want to be seen. And I really believe in this. I think the bigger platform, they have a responsibility with author and artist, and people they give in life to this craft. And I think there is a responsibility by these big platform and studios to really looking into these artists, no mean how big or small you are. I think everybody decide to do this job is a big adventure, is a risk. Okay, they take it. And to be that sense of integrity, you need to be sure that people are really looking into that.
One of the things that struck me when I watched the film is the level of almost hyper-realism that you bring to both the Border Patrol officers and to the experience of Zoe's character immigrating across the border. What kind of research or preparation did you and your writing partner do to sort of get those details right?
There is, first, Zoe and I, we went so many times in the border with this very close friend of us. She have this amazing group is called It's About Humanity, and we spend a lot of time at the border. And that was the key to really searching every details about this. Actually, we really try to make a love story, to make people watching and care about the character. And we was very, very touched about the experience there and all the kids that was there.
And what about while shooting? Did you have anyone in the production as a consultant to help you get details right about costumes or actions or, you know, sets?
Yeah, we have details people there, but example, the costume was, you will see the film, but you know, the film is making 3 color. It's red, blue, and white, with the idea of course, you know, freedom. What I'm an immigrant. When I jump here with unknown in a very different condition, but I spend a lot of time when I grow up in a subway, in a very different way. For me, the idea was I respect so much an immigrant in the way when he decide to jump in the unknown and have the brave to try to find something better of the place he left. This film is really about the courage of all these people. And there is images here that represent almost like a Goya painting. It was the idea, I remember that night when we were shooting that, a lot of these people was an immigrants, and they was telling us, I feel very beautiful here. And for me, it's about the dignity and about humanity. It's really not, again, I want to repeat this, it's not a political thing, it's just about how 1 second us like a humanity in 2023, we don't stop and we just look in each other and we just understand we can do a better job to be human in this world, a little bit better.
Thank you. I wanted to ask about the involvement of a couple other names from the credits that struck me. I'm curious how Garrett Hedlund got involved as sort of Zoe's counterpart across the border. Did he audition?
I know Garrett. I know Garrett for a long time. He's friends. I really always want to work with him. I like his work in Mode Band. I love his really work, and I love him like a human. And I really asked him if he was taking consideration to work with me. You know, for an actor, when you want to work for a first-time director, it's a risk. It's like a jump in the unknown. And I felt very lucky that Garrett said yes, and Adria.
And the other name that folks might recognize from the credits is a man named Martin Scorsese, who came on board as an executive producer. Tell the story about how that happened and what that experience was like.
Okay, I visualize a lot, guys. I spend 1 hour a day, every day, to visualize. This is a true story. You can ask anybody, know me. And when I started a masterclass with $50, my first class was Martin Scorsese. Quindi, in the end of the film, when I finish the film, I want to show this film to some people in the team of myself and my wife, and they also working with Martin. They showed the film to him, and he say, I really want to be involved. He actually gave me the opportunity to work with an editor called Thelma Shoesmaker. That was a real masterclass. During COVID, I spent 4 months, 5 months with her. She's an incredible inspiration to me. And I growing so much about this, and I feel very, very lucky. But the truth is, I visualize that, and I really feel very blessed about this. It was a dream come true for me. And I don't have words about this because literally the $50 really pay off. Please do masterclass.
Yeah, you definitely got the best bang for your masterclass buck
Yes,
of probably
I
any
really-
user ever.
I just want to be honest. I'm a big sponsor for that. I need to be honest. I hope next year they sponsor this festival.
I'm curious what you feel like was the biggest challenge for you as a first-time director, and also what was maybe something that surprised you that you were already knew how to do without really, it came to you instinctually.
Yeah, the more difficult things is actually, surprise or not, is the movie is not easy. Quindi I want to say thanks to, really honest to Greg for the festival che ha set a film like our film to me and everybody here, part of this group. The film is not easy, and that is the more difficult part, to ask into the audience to really have time to watching film from the author perspective and really protection that. Is one of our mission to really protection the voice of every filmmaker. That's why I have so much respect for festival like Newport Beach, and because it's a rare brief, and I think slowly we're going to look in more film from the experience perspective, like more to have a product, and I really believe we need to have looking into more like a filmmaker perspective and author, and there is so many young filmmakers with the voice, and I would love to really protection that part. And that was the more difficult part, to make a film like that and be accepted, because it's an art film, it's not easy. That's the more difficult part. The things was very natural was when we was in set, we literally, in a more difficult experience, I have this joke, but don't laugh about, after the movie, I think I never went in therapy in my life. I spent every single money I did in therapy after I did this movie. I'm so glad my therapist is not here. But the more important things is, we had a great time. I'm very grateful for my producer, my writing partner, my friends that are here, because the supporting was amazing. The more difficult part is there will be a location for this film to experience that. You understand? That's what for me will be the more difficult part.
Where and when did you shoot the film?
We shot the film in New Mexico, in the border. It was during COVID, like that experience before the COVID start, and after we did a re-editing and with Thelma, and after that we finished the color collage after COVID.
And about how long were you shooting for?
We don't have any money. It was 27 days. That's why I spent a lot of time in therapies. And it was 27 days shot with no money. And but I think it was a very beautiful experience.
It doesn't look like you did it on a shoestring, so congratulations for that.
Thank you. I'm very excited to see the reaction of the people.
You mentioned that Masterclass was sort of your starting point. I'm wondering if there were any particular films or filmmakers that were important to you in your life and also specifically on this project.
Yes, I have. Like I told you before, I watch This Is True. I'm obsessed with art and film. I watch one film a day. I watch not in the weekend because I need to spend a lot of time with the kids and the family, but I watch my preferred filmmaker, of course, I'm Italian. They're Federico Fellini, from the New Realism. That's why you see a lot abstract part of the film. And of course, there is incredible filmmaker right now, There's a language we was try to look in, actually more like a Cormac language, me and Rick, we was try to find it. That was very important for us. And about visual and, sense of color, there is, a director I really love, his name is Adrian Tartowski. That's why there is a scene with 2 minutes of a wolf walking, based on this very famous movie by Andrei Tartowski, is an homage of the master.
One of the things that I think is part of learning the process of directing is working with actors, and you have an in because you're married to one. What would you say you learned from Zoe about directing actors? Or maybe what did she teach you before you even started on the project?
I feel like a family, when I tell the truth. The truth is, I married my wife because she's very raw. And when you make a sculpture, the more difficult things is to be raw. And Zoe is capable to transcend so much like that because she's very honest and she's very pure. And that purity is the essence I'm trying every day in everything I do. There is no, in any piece of art or this film is about this essence of purity. And my wife is really, I think that's the secret why she transcended. She's the only woman woman and man artist, because she have 4 of these biggest film ever. And I think she's capable to be so honest. And that was the more fascinating things for me. I felt in love for her. And that's what I try to learn from her every day, is this purity, this essence everybody would try to find. And that's why the film is very raw. I think that part I learning really from her. She's the more, I really hope that's the more searching I try to find every single day in my life, is that essence of purity.
That rawness that you're talking about really does come through in the film potently.
Thank you. This is the best compliment. I want to be honest. That's really the best compliment.
I wanted to ask, though, being steeped in difficult subject matter all day, every day, what did you do at the end of the day shooting, besides therapy, to sort of step back from the difficult subject matter that you were working in and make sure that you sort of were able to clear your head and have, space to operate?
Well, this is a good question. The truth is, every night I was thinking about how I can make it the next day, because really, we was done in 27 days. We don't have time for doing some shot you see here is maybe making 1 take, because we don't have a time and space for that. The truth is, when the movie was finished, or the preparation of that was more the time when I reflected of if I was very capable to, I question myself a lot, if I was capable to pull off a real portrait of the human condition of right now. And there is a dialogue in the film I hope you can observe against the glasses, and that's what I really believe represent where we are right now. And that was the question I was asking myself more in the editing room, because one of these masterclass say, the movie you shoot is not the movie you editing. And I learning that, trust me, really learning that. I have an idea, and when we went to the editing room, we changed completely the entire idea. And the honesty about that is the more lucky part I had producer around me, Rob, Carl, Julie, Jolene, Cici, Marielle, and they give me patience, and they really stuck with me in the vision, and that was the more important things for me, because I was not finding this true. I was not finding, and that was the more difficult things for me.
I know you're still in the process of showing this film to people, but do you now have a taste for it? Like, you want to make another? And do you have a sort of a next thing that you're thinking of?
Quindi I'm going to do an art project very important until May, end of May next year. I'm doing Richie's here in Ivalo. And after that, I'm going to, I just finished my new skit with Rick, and I hope we're going to shoot it next year. And again, it's a very art subject, art subject things about humanity, but that's what I like to explore with Rick.
I want to show these folks the film, but before I do, one last question. Having seen it, I think I know the answer to it, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What message would you like folks to take away from it when they walk out of the theater tonight?
I want every single of you decide what the ending is, and I want every single of you to go home tomorrow breakfast. That will be my goal, and really talk about this. If you are capable to do that, I mean I arrive at the goal. If you forgot about it, tomorrow morning you talk about something else, it was not a great movie, and I'm sorry about that. I hope tomorrow morning at breakfast you talk about this.
Yeah. Marco Prigo Saldana, congratulations on the film. Thank you very much for being here. Enjoy the show, everybody.
Thank you.